Building on a lifetime of success and charisma, Robert Redford has remained a captivating figure in Hollywood, but behind his well-known smile lies a story of resilience through decades of personal struggles. As he approaches his 90th birthday, he has decided to finally open up about the hardships that have haunted him, revealing details that many suspected but few knew for sure. From heartbreaking losses and severe health scares to tumultuous marriages and career challenges, Redford's journey has been marked by moments of intense pain and perseverance. Despite these obstacles, he managed to maintain his dignity and continue to inspire generations. Now, he uncovers what kept him going through the darkest times, sharing the secrets that allowed him to hold on to hope and strength. This candid revelation offers a new perspective on a man who seemed to have it all but fought quietly behind the scenes to keep his spirit alive. Growing up in Santa Monica on August 18, 1936, Robert Redford faced childhood battles that shaped his life in many ways. Raised by an emotionally distant father who worked as an accountant and a mother who followed Christian Science, Redford's early years were marked by a sense of mystery about his struggles. His childhood was not typical. He faced difficulties that he kept hidden for years. It was only in 2011, when he agreed to work with author Michael Fanny Callan on a book about his life, that many of these secrets came to light. This collaboration surprised many because it offered a close look at Redford's personal journey, revealing details that had been unknown or misunderstood for a long time. Among these revelations was Redford's battle with polio, a serious illness that affected his childhood and added to the hardships he faced. The story of his fight with the disease was one of the most harrowing parts of his early life, showing how he overcame physical challenges that could have stopped his dreams. His story hints at a life filled with struggle, resilience, and quiet determination to succeed despite the shadows that lingered from his past. To this day, many are interested in learning what other surprising details about his personal life remain hidden in the shadows of his past, waiting to be uncovered. His childhood experiences, including the mystery surrounding his upbringing and health battles, continue to fascinate those who want to understand the man behind the fame. The revelations about his early struggles deepen the understanding of his remarkable journey from childhood to becoming a well-known actor and producer, highlighting the resilience that carried him through difficult times. As he moved forward in his career, these childhood battles served as silent lessons that helped shape his character, showing how overcoming adversity can lead to great success. Despite the hardships he faced early on, Robert Redford's story is a testament to strength, perseverance, and the power to rise above life's challenges. His life story remains a source of inspiration, reminding us that even in darkness, there is hope and the possibility of a brighter future. Since he was a child growing up in the 1930s and 1940s, Robert Redford faced a challenging time because of the disease polio, which was then widespread and very dangerous. He can remember vividly how frightening it was when he was diagnosed with this illness that caused severe breathing problems and sometimes paralysis, which meant losing use of parts of his body. His experience with polio was a terrifying ordeal that left a lasting impression on him. He described his illness as mild, but serious enough to keep him confined to bed for 2 weeks. During those days, many children and adults lived in constant fear of polio because there was no vaccine then to protect against it. Redford's childhood was marked by this fear, as stories of children suffering from the disease were common, and hospitals showed the devastating effects of polio on young lives. Despite his struggles with the illness, eventually, he recovered as many did after the development of the polio vaccine. The disease's near eradication in later years shows how medical science advanced to prevent such suffering for future generations. Redford's personal experience with polio highlights how life-changing and frightening that disease once was, and it remains a reminder of the importance of medical progress. After experiencing the devastating effects of the polio epidemic during his childhood, Robert Redford felt a deep sense of gratitude and respect for scientists like Jonas Salk, who worked tirelessly to find a cure. Inspired by Salk's groundbreaking discovery of the polio vaccine, Redford decided to honor his contributions by creating a tribute to Jonas Salk. In 2014, he directed a short film that served as part of a larger documentary called Cathedrals of Culture, which explored significant cultural and scientific landmarks. Redford's segment focused on the Salk Institute for Biological Studies located in San Diego, a place renowned for its cutting-edge research and innovation. His interest in Salk and his work was personal because Redford had first-hand experience with the polio epidemic, making the importance of Salk's invention even more meaningful to him. However, as Redford has said, polio was not the only challenge he faced as a child. Life brought other struggles, but his childhood memories of the epidemic remained a powerful motivator for his respect for science and human resilience. His tribute to Jonas Salk highlights how important scientific progress can be, especially during difficult times, and reflects Redford's admiration for the scientist who changed so many lives by eradicating a feared disease. Through his film work, Redford aimed to shed light on Salk's legacy and the great impact that one person's dedication can have on the world. All of this underscores his recognition that overcoming adversity often requires innovation, hope, and perseverance, qualities exemplified by Jonas Salk. Growing up in a time of great economic difficulty, Robert Redford's childhood was heavily affected by the absence of a traditional father figure, because his father, Charles Redford, was often away working long hours for Standard Oil during the Great Depression. This made it hard for Robert to bond with his father, as Charles prioritized his work over family time, which left young Robert feeling lonely and missing out on the emotional support that many children receive from their fathers. However, during this difficult period, Uncle David stepped into the role of a caring and supportive father figure. He made an effort to spend quality time with Robert, engaging in various activities that shaped his interests and talents. Uncle David was not just a dedicated family man, but also a talented football player who could speak 4 languages, showcasing his well-rounded personality. His influence helped foster Robert's athletic pursuits and artistic interests, giving him a source of inspiration and guidance amid the emotional void created by his father's absence. Tragically, Uncle David was lost in the Battle of the Bulge during World War II, a devastating event that left Robert extremely upset. The loss of his uncle, who had been a vital emotional anchor, deeply affected him and left him feeling vulnerable and without much emotional support during a critical time in his life. After Uncle David's death, Robert struggled to find strong emotional connections or guidance, which shaped his early experiences with loss and the importance of finding strength within himself. Despite these hardships, Robert's resilience and the influence of those who cared for him helped him navigate through the emotional challenges of his childhood. After the loss of his uncle, Robert Redford found it difficult to cope with the overwhelming grief. Instead of openly talking about the pain, his family chose to deal with David's death in a way that was quite unusual, avoiding discussions and not asking many questions about what happened. This silence created a sense of distance and emotional pain that Robert carried with him every day. As a way to deal with his sadness and loneliness, he became somewhat of a loner, withdrawing from others and finding comfort in solitude. During this time, he decided to adopt a stray mutt, hoping to find companionship and some relief from his grief. However, tragedy struck again when the dog was run over by a car, which deeply affected Robert and added more weight to his suffering. He describes this period as feeling like death was always on his shoulder, a constant burden that followed him everywhere. He expressed that he felt a sense of darkness surrounding him, like an oppressive weight that never quite lifted. The experience of losing his uncle, the unresolved feelings, and the loss of his pet all contributed to a lasting emotional impact that shaped his view of life and death. Despite these hardships, Robert's emotional scars from that time remained, still influencing his feelings and outlook on mortality. Despite his later success and fame, Robert Redford's high school years were marked by struggles and challenges that many might not expect from such a celebrated actor and producer. During his time at Van Nuys High School, Redford was not the top student. In fact, he often described himself as a failure at many things he attempted. He struggled academically, finding it hard to keep up with his studies, and he did not excel in sports or other school activities. While he was not shy about sharing his feelings of disappointment, he also faced a number of setbacks outside the classroom. Redford worked as a box boy at a supermarket, but was eventually fired, which was a blow to his confidence. Later, he faced dismissal from a job at Standard Oil, adding to his list of failures. These setbacks did not end there. Redford's youth also involved some mischievous behavior that landed him in trouble with the law. He was involved in stealing hubcaps and sneaking onto private property to swim in pools, activities that got him into hot water with authorities. Yet, in spite of these difficulties, Redford's experiences in high school and his youthful misadventures paint a picture of a person who struggled but persisted. His early life was filled with less than perfect moments, but those moments did not define his future success. Instead, they contributed to a journey that led him to become a renowned figure in Hollywood, not just as an actor, but also as a producer who understood setbacks and triumphs alike. His story shows that even those who face failures early on can go on to achieve great things, often shaped by their challenges along the way. Initially, Robert Redford was not the well-respected Hollywood figure many admire today. Before he achieved fame and success, he was known as a teenage tearaway, someone who often caused trouble and engaged in mischief. During his high school years in Van Nuys, he spent much time with a street gang, getting involved in activities that sometimes crossed the line. One of the most daring and dangerous stunts he did was a dare that nearly cost him his life. The gang challenged him to jump off a relatively high building to prove his bravery. Redford later said that facing this challenge made him realize that he had to confront his fears, and he understood that he could either let fears control him or find the strength to overcome them. That moment of risk and near disaster became a lesson that stayed with him. It highlighted the importance of courage and self-control, and marked an early point in his life where he learned that facing fears head-on was crucial. This experience of teenage rebellion and daring acts played a role in shaping his character, helping him develop the resilience and determination that would later serve him well in his film career. Redford's journey from a mischievous youth to a respected actor and producer shows that even those who make mistakes can grow into figures of respect and admiration. His early experiences remind us that risks can be dangerous, but also teach us important life lessons about bravery and overcoming fears. When you look at Robert Redford's early life, it becomes clear that his teenage years were anything but easy. Growing up in Southern California, he had to deal with racial tensions that affected his daily life. He found himself caught in the middle of gang wars that were fueled by racial divisions, which made life very dangerous for him and others in his community. During this time, Redford also faced bullying from a group called the Pachucos, who were known for their distinctive style and tough attitude. Among these bullies was a young man named Felix, who seemed determined to pick fights with Redford. The reasons for his hostility may have been jealousy, especially because Redford excelled in school, was fast in track, and was popular with the girls. Despite the difficulties, Redford said he learned to toughen up quickly during these harsh years. He remembered a specific incident when the bullying reached a dangerous peak. The bullies coerced him into a challenge that could have been deadly. They convinced him to jump off the roof of a building to prove his courage. Redford took a deep breath and made the leap, knowing it was incredibly risky. His jump was nearly fatal, and only because he survived did he escape a tragic fate that could have changed everything. If he hadn't survived, the world might never have known him as the talented actor and director he would become. Instead, this dangerous experience became a part of his past, a reminder of how close he had come to losing everything that made him special. Despite these dark moments, Redford's resilience grew, and he went on to forge a path that would lead to fame and success in Hollywood. His early struggles with racial tensions and reckless challenges shaped his strength and character in ways that stayed with him throughout his life. After completing his studies at Van Nuys High School in 1954, Robert Redford experienced a profound loss that deeply affected his life. Just a year after graduating, his mother, Martha Redford, passed away from septicemia, a serious blood infection. This event must have caused immense emotional pain for the young man, who was only 18 years old at the time. Losing a parent so suddenly, and at such a young age, often leaves a lasting impact, and Redford was no exception. Despite the heartbreak, he continued pursuing his dreams, and eventually became a successful actor and director. Over the years, he often spoke about his mother, and how her memory inspired him to keep moving forward. As many years passed, he found ways to honor her memory through his work in the film industry. In 2018, at the Sundance Film Festival in Utah, Redford shared an emotional moment during the Utah Women's Leadership Celebration, where he paid tribute to his mother with heartfelt words. He remembered her as a loving and caring woman who died unexpectedly at only 40 years old from a hemorrhage, a sudden and tragic event. His tribute moved many in the audience as he reflected on the pain of losing his mother and the strength he found to continue his path. Throughout his life, Redford's connection to his mother remained strong, and the loss he suffered at such a young age shaped his resilience and determination. Even today, her memory is a part of his story as a producer and actor, reminding him of the importance of family and perseverance. The emotional tribute at Sundance showed how deeply he still cherished her, and how her influence helped guide him through life's challenges. His story speaks to the enduring power of love, and the way loss can inspire someone to achieve great things despite hardship. Since then, Robert Redford has often reflected on his relationship with his mother, and the regrets he carries. He openly admits that he took her for granted during his youth, and now wishes he could have shown her more appreciation while she was alive. He remembers the difficult times when she was battling the effects of a blood disorder linked to the stillbirth of her twin daughters in 1947. This tragic event deeply affected her, yet she remained strong and faithful, never giving up on her son, even when he made life hard for her. Redford recalls how his mother believed in him, trusting that he had something special inside himself that would eventually flourish. Sadly, she did not live to see the success and accomplishments he achieved later in life. Despite the sadness of her passing, Redford chooses to celebrate her positive qualities, often speaking about her warm smile, her adventurous spirit, and her unwavering positive attitude. He believes remembering her in this way honors her memory more than dwelling on the pain of her loss. He feels that her faith and her love shaped who he became, and he wishes he could have expressed his gratitude more fully. His stories about her reflect a deep respect and enduring admiration, showing how much her strength and spirit continue to inspire him. Redford's tribute to his mother is a heartfelt reminder of the importance of family, gratitude, and cherishing loved ones before it's too late. His words reveal a man who recognizes the value of those who support him, and who wishes more than anything that he could thank her for the love and faith she gave him. After high school, Robert Redford's journey took a surprising turn that shaped his future in ways few could predict. In 1954, he graduated from Van Nuys High School, a moment that marked the beginning of his promising path ahead. During his years in high school, Redford was known for his impressive athletic skills, especially in baseball, which drew the attention of the University of Colorado's baseball team. Rumors spread that he might receive a sports scholarship to help fund his college education, fueling hopes that he would follow a career in sports. However, when the time came to choose his focus, Redford made a surprising decision. Instead of pursuing baseball, he shifted his attention to studying art. This change puzzled many and raised questions about what motivated him. Perhaps he was drawn by the allure of the art world, its creativity, or the opportunity to express himself in new ways. Or maybe he simply wanted to try something different and explore a new passion that interested him more than sports. Whatever the reasons, Redford's choice to pursue art over athletics showed his willingness to follow what truly inspired him, even if it meant stepping away from the sports scholarship he might have had. This decision marked a pivotal moment in his life, setting the stage for the person he would become and the remarkable career he would build later. His willingness to explore different fields and follow his own interests highlights the importance of listening to one's heart and being open to new possibilities, a lesson he carried with him as he moved forward on his journey. Although many might think that university life would have helped shape Robert Redford into a well-behaved student, it actually had quite the opposite effect. Instead of focusing on his studies, Redford quickly gained a reputation as a party boy. His social activities were largely influenced by his involvement with the Kappa Sigma fraternity, which gave him many opportunities to socialize and have fun. As his social life grew busier, his time spent studying and his academic pursuits started to decline. Instead of hitting the books, Redford spent more time engaging in reckless activities such as drag racing and motorcycle riding, which often took priority over his schoolwork. The university years took a darker turn when tragedy struck with the loss of his mother. This difficult event led Redford down a path of heavy drinking, which worsened his situation. His drinking habits caused him to lose his baseball scholarship, a loss that forced him to leave the University of Colorado. At that moment, it seemed like all hopes for his academic future were lost. Yet, as the saying goes, when one door closes, another opens. Sometimes setbacks can lead to new opportunities and directions in life, shaping a person's future in unexpected ways. Redford's university journey was marked by mistakes and hardships, but it was also a period that ultimately contributed to the person he would become. Despite facing a challenging and tumultuous university experience, Robert Redford refused to let setbacks define him. Instead of giving up or dwelling on difficulties, he chose to go on a journey of self-discovery that would shape his life in unexpected ways. During this period, he dedicated himself to honing his artistic skills by traveling to Europe, where he spent time in Florence and Paris. These cities, known for their rich culture and artistic heritage, helped Redford develop his talent and deepen his understanding of fine arts and creativity. His passion for acting and performing grew stronger as he explored different cultures and styles. Later, Redford pursued formal training at New York's American Academy of Dramatic Arts, where he received professional education and refined his acting abilities. This training prepared him for a career in film and theater, laying the foundation for his future success. An interesting and delightful twist of fate occurred years later when the University of Colorado, the institution he had previously left under less than ideal circumstances, welcomed not only students but also two familiar faces, Redford's own children, Shauna and Jamie. Their presence in the university's halls symbolized redemption and growth, showing that while Robert Redford's early experiences may have been difficult, his family found a place within the same institutions that had once challenged him. This journey of self-discovery highlights Redford's resilience, his artistic pursuit, and the importance of perseverance in overcoming past hardships to find success and a sense of belonging. After experiencing a period of happiness and achievement in the late 1950s, Robert Redford faced a tragic loss that deeply affected him. At that time, he had recently married and was making his way in the theater world with a successful Broadway debut. He also became a father to a son named Scott, which brought him great joy. However, in November 1959, everything changed when his 10-week-old son passed away suddenly from what is now known as sudden infant death syndrome. The loss was devastating and shattered Redford's sense of happiness. He struggled intensely with feelings of guilt and self-blame because he and his wife were very young and lacked knowledge about SIDS. Redford recalls in a rare interview that this period was very hard for him. He explained that he was just starting to build his acting career, which didn't pay much at the time, and he didn't understand why the tragedy happened. The grief left a scar that never fully healed, and the pain lingered within him. Despite this profound sorrow, Redford chose to deal with his grief quietly rather than openly talking about it. Instead of sharing his feelings publicly, he decided to honor his son's memory by supporting research into SIDS. His efforts to raise funds for understanding and preventing SIDS showed his strength and resilience, qualities that are often overlooked because he was so private about his experience. Redford's journey through this tragedy highlights not only his personal suffering, but also his ability to find a way to give meaning to an unimaginable loss. After experiencing the devastating loss of his first son, Scott Redford, Robert Redford faced another profound challenge when his second son, David James Redford, was born prematurely in 1962. During this time, David was diagnosed with hyaline membrane disease, a serious condition that also affected John F. Kennedy's second son, Patrick. The prognosis was grim, with doctors giving David only a 40% chance of survival. This news was incredibly difficult for the Redford family, as it came just 3 years after their first tragedy. Robert Redford, known for his work as an actor and director, found himself confronting the very real possibility of losing another child. To make matters more stressful, Lola, his wife, was also in danger at the same time. The family's uncertainty and fear were immense, but despite the odds and the intense pressure, both David and Lola managed to survive. It was a moment of intense relief for Robert and Lola, who watched their son fight for life and come through. The experience left a lasting mark on Robert Redford's life, reminding him of the fragile nature of happiness and family. Although he continued his successful career in film, moments like this profoundly influenced his perspective on life, resilience, and the importance of family bonds. These events stayed with him, illustrating the difficulties he endured beyond the cinematic world. Instead, Robert Redford has openly shared his feelings about the difficulties his family has encountered over the years. In a 1998 interview with People magazine, he reflected honestly on how people often assume his life has been simple or easy because of his fame. He explained that this belief is far from the truth, and that it has been painful to live with the misconception. Redford emphasized that the hardest part of his life is not his career or public image, but rather the struggles his children have faced. He mentioned that his family has endured many difficult challenges and hardships, many of which have not been made public. Despite these experiences, he chose to keep many of his family's problems private because he cares deeply about their well-being. Redford's words reveal that behind the fame and success, there is a family that has experienced hardship, and he has worked hard to protect them from the world's judgment or intrusion. His honesty shows that facing personal problems, especially those involving family, can be extremely tough, and he values his family's privacy above anything else. Through these reflections, he demonstrates that no matter how successful someone appears, everyone has struggles they must face. Redford's story highlights that life can be difficult, but strength often comes from caring for loved ones and choosing to keep their challenges private. Seeing the tragic connection between Robert Redford and the unsolved murder of his daughter's boyfriend, Sid Wells, reveals a deeply personal side of the acclaimed actor and filmmaker. Redford's family has experienced more than its share of sorrow, and this particular loss in 1983 affected him profoundly. Shauna Redford, his daughter, was studying journalism when her boyfriend, Sid Wells, met a tragic end. Wells was shot in the back of his head inside his apartment at the University of Colorado, a violent crime that remains unsolved nearly 4 decades later. The shock of losing someone so young and full of promise weighed heavily on the Redford family. Robert Redford was initially hesitant to attend the funeral because he feared the attention of the press would intrude on the family's privacy. Despite his doubts, he ultimately decided to go, driven by a desire to honor Wells and support his daughter during a heartbreaking time. The loss left a lasting scar, reminding everyone that tragedies can touch even the most celebrated individuals and their families. It is a somber story about grief, helplessness, and the enduring hope for justice in a case that remains open. Redford's willingness to face the pain at Wells' funeral shows his deep love and commitment as a father, but it also underlines the profound sadness that no parent should have to endure. The unresolved nature of the murder continues to haunt the family and those close to them, a reminder of the uncertainties that life can bring without warning. Despite his fame and success in the film industry, Redford's personal experience with this tragedy reveals a man shaped by loss and the resilience it demands. As time passes, the mystery of who killed Sid Wells remains, fueling hope that eventually the truth may be uncovered. Until then, the Redford family continues to carry the weight of that tragic event, a testament to their strength and enduring love. While Robert Redford is primarily known for his work as an actor and director, he has also been involved in producing many films. His role as a producer helped shape some of the most acclaimed movies in Hollywood. Redford's producing career is marked by his dedication to storytelling and his desire to bring authentic and powerful stories to the screen. Over the years, he has supported projects that focus on meaningful themes and have artistic value. As a producer, Redford often worked closely with writers, directors, and actors to ensure that each film reached its full potential. His work behind the scenes has contributed significantly to the success of numerous movies, many of which have received awards and recognition worldwide. Despite his fame as an actor, his contributions as a producer have laid a strong foundation for his legacy in the film industry. His influence can be seen in the quality and integrity of the projects he chose to back. Recently, there has been increased interest in his career, especially regarding his efforts to promote new talent and his involvement in projects that address important social issues. Throughout his career, Redford has demonstrated a deep passion for filmmaking and storytelling, which continues to inspire many. His work as a producer remains an essential part of his overall contribution to cinema, showcasing his commitment to making meaningful movies that entertain and provoke thought. The story of his producing career is one of perseverance, vision, and a love for the art of storytelling that has left a lasting mark on Hollywood history. Following the tragic murder of Sid Wells, Robert Redford has spoken openly about how the incident still affects him deeply. He describes the event as if there is a partially open door in his mind, revealing a very dark room behind it. This vivid image shows how the unresolved tragedy continues to cast a shadow over his thoughts and feelings. Redford believes that such tragedies leave a lasting mark on the families and friends of those involved. The mystery surrounding Wells' murder remains unsolved, and it continues to captivate the minds of many, including Redford himself. As the years pass, the questions about who was responsible and why remain unanswered, leaving those left behind seeking closure. Redford has wondered whether the person responsible, Will Thane Smika, will ever be found, and if justice will ever be served. The pain and confusion caused by the unresolved case disturb him even now, illustrating how unresolved tragedies can linger long after the event. His concerns are shared by Shauna Redford and her family, who also hope for answers and peace. Only time will tell if the truth about Wells' murder will ever be uncovered, or if the dark door will ever fully close. The ongoing mystery continues to inspire curiosity and concern among those who knew Wells, and those like Redford who feel the weight of these unresolved questions. The impact of this tragedy remains a powerful reminder of how such events can affect people for many years. Redford's feelings reveal the complex emotions that come with tragedy, and the hope that someday answers will come, bringing peace to those who still grieve. Although Robert Redford is known primarily for his work as an actor and producer, his career was significantly influenced by the loss of Natalie Wood, a star whose light shone brightly but burned out far too early. In the history of Hollywood, Natalie Wood's impact is undeniable as she left a lasting mark on the film industry and on all the actors she worked with. She played a key role in shaping Robert Redford's career, helping to propel him into the spotlight. It was actually Natalie Wood's recommendation that helped Redford get noticed by Warner Brothers for his breakthrough role in the 1965 drama Inside Daisy Clover. At that time, Natalie Wood was a bigger star, and her support meant a lot to him. Her belief in his talent was a turning point for his career. The two actors shared the screen again in the film This Property is Condemned, further strengthening their bond both professionally and personally. Redford has often spoken about how grateful he was to Natalie Wood for her support, especially during those early days when he was still finding his footing in Hollywood. Her influence and their friendship created a lasting legacy that connected them beyond just their on-screen collaborations. The tragedy of Natalie Wood's death left a shadow over Hollywood, reminding everyone of the fleeting nature of fame and life itself. Robert Redford's career continued to flourish, but he always remembered Natalie Wood as a vital part of his journey, recognizing her as a driving force behind his emergence as a prominent figure in the film world. Her loss was deeply felt by many, but her memory and her role in shaping the careers of talented actors like Redford remain a testament to her significance in Hollywood history. Later, it is important to recognize that Robert Redford, although not directly involved in the incident, was connected to the broader world of Hollywood where Natalie Wood's tragic death took place. Redford, a renowned actor and filmmaker, witnessed the impact of her loss on the industry and her fans, which added to the overall atmosphere of grief and mystery surrounding her disappearance. The circumstances of her death happened during a boat trip around Catalina Island, where she was reportedly with her husband Robert Wagner and actor Christopher Walken. The event has remained shrouded in questions, with many wondering what exactly occurred that night. Over the years, investigations and speculations have kept the story alive, with some suggesting accidents, while others believe there may have been foul play or hidden truths yet to be uncovered. The ongoing intrigue surrounding her death has kept her memory alive in the minds of many and spurred numerous theories that continue to be debated. For Robert Redford and others in Hollywood, the loss of Natalie Wood was a deeply sad moment, one that left a void in the entertainment world and fueled curiosity that persists to this day. Her death, wrapped in mystery, has become one of Hollywood's enduring enigmas. After many years in the film industry, Robert Redford has become known not only for his acting and directing, but also for his dedication to paying tribute to the people who influenced his life. Despite his reputation as a private individual who usually keeps his personal feelings to himself, he has spoken openly about the deep impact Natalie Wood had on his life and career. In a heartfelt tribute aired on the Turner Classic Movies Network, Redford shared a touching story about their time working together and the special connection they shared. He emphasized her extraordinary talent and her spirited personality, making it clear how much he admired her. Redford's tribute was more than just words. It was a sincere reflection of his respect for her arts and character. Also, in 2020, he lent his voice to a documentary called What Remains Behind on HBO, which explored Natalie Wood's legacy. His participation in this project showed that even many years later, he still held her memory close and valued the influence she had on his life and the film world. Through these acts, Redford proved that some bonds are timeless, and his admiration for Natalie Wood remains strong, resonating through his words and actions. His tribute helps keep her memory alive and reminds everyone of her importance in Hollywood history. After spending over 3 decades together, Robert Redford and Lola Van Wagenen decided to end their marriage, which surprised many people given the long history of their relationship. In a world where Hollywood marriages often do not last long, their 30-year love story was seen as a rare example of stability and commitment. They had been married since 1958, and during this time, they faced many challenges, including the heartbreaking loss of their firstborn son named Scott. Despite these hardships, their relationship was thought to be strong and resilient. Redford, who became famous for his memorable roles in films such as Butch Cassidy and The Sundance Kid, had always been admired not only for his acting, but also for his dedication to his family. When news of their split came out, it was considered a shock to fans and friends, but Redford openly discussed the reasons behind the separation in a sincere interview with The Telegraph. He explained that the breakup was mutual, and both they felt it was the right decision to move forward separately. He emphasized that they still share love, affection, and friendship, which remains important to them and their children. Redford acknowledged that they were proud of how they handled their relationship and how their children managed to grow and thrive despite the emotional difficulties. Their story serves as a reminder that even the strongest-looking relationships can change over time, and sometimes ending a marriage allows people to find peace and happiness apart. After his divorce, Robert Redford refused to let the end of his 30-year marriage define him or turn him into just another statistic among celebrity breakups. He expressed his desire not to be considered one of those Hollywood casualties, stating that he never wanted to be seen as someone whose marriage failed simply because of fame or fortune. Redford wanted to prove that a marriage could last, and he even wanted to challenge the stereotype that relationships in show business are doomed to fail. Despite his efforts, he eventually realized that his marriage had ended, and he could not change that fact. Still, he remained committed to finding happiness and moving forward. After spending many years on his own, Redford found love again with German artist Sybil Sagers. Their relationship was not sudden. They had been living together since the mid-1990s at Redford's Sundance home. It wasn't until 2009 that they finally decided to tie the knot, almost a quarter of a century after his divorce from Van Wagenen. Their journey through singlehood and love showed that life could go on and that happiness was still possible. Despite the challenges he faced, Redford demonstrated resilience and hope, emphasizing that personal growth and love could be found even after life's setbacks. Their relationship endured many years before reaching a new milestone, reflecting a deeper journey of healing, companionship, and renewal. Although Robert Redford is primarily known for his talents as an actor and director, he has also played a significant role as a producer, contributing to many films that explore complex human emotions and stories. Throughout his career, Redford has emphasized the importance of storytelling that touches on moral and emotional truths, which is evident in the films he chooses to produce. One such story, which may not have been directly produced by him, but aligns with his overall approach, conveys a moral about love and relationships. It tells us that even the most enduring relationships can come to an end, yet this does not mean that love and respect between two people automatically disappear. Instead, it suggests that the bond they shared can leave a lasting impact, and the feelings can transform rather than completely fade away. This perspective highlights that loss or separation does not necessarily erase the meaningful connection that once existed. Perhaps, in some cases, there is still hope for a happy ending, even after a relationship has ended. This moral encourages viewers to see love as a deep, ongoing journey, where endings might simply be new beginnings in disguise. Movies and stories like these reflect Redford's belief that life is full of emotional truths that deserve to be told with honesty and sensitivity. His work often emphasizes hope, understanding, and the idea that love, in all its forms, leaves a lasting mark on people's lives. In the end, this story reminds us that even when love seems to fade, the memories and respect can still endure, leaving open the possibility of a hopeful future or a new chapter. After experiencing the profound pain of losing his son James, Robert Redford faced another heartbreaking farewell, making his grief even deeper and more complex. James Redford, who was 58 years old, lost his battle with liver cancer in October 2020, leaving behind a family shattered by grief. His life was marked by various health struggles that began early in his life, when he lost his baby brother Scott, just 3 years before his own birth. This early loss cast a shadow over James's childhood, and his own health challenges persisted throughout his adult years. In 1993, despite his ongoing liver problems, James received a transplant that allowed him to continue his life and pursue meaningful work. Demonstrating his resilience and compassion, he founded an institute dedicated to raising awareness about the importance of organ donation and transplantation, turning his personal struggles into a mission to help others. His commitment to this cause reflected his strength and hope, even in the face of his illness. The loss of James was a tragedy for Robert Redford and his family, adding to their long history of grief. It was a painful reminder of how fragile life can be, especially for those who face health challenges from a young age. The family's sorrow was compounded by the fact that Robert's ex-wife Lola Van Wagenen also shared in the grief of losing their son. Both of them had to say farewell to their beloved child, a loss that deeply affected not just their hearts, but also their spirits. Their experience exemplifies the pain that comes with losing a child, and highlights the strength required to carry on after such a loss. Even as they mourned, James's legacy of advocacy and hope continued to inspire many others facing similar struggles. The story of James Redford remains a powerful reminder of resilience and love amid immense sorrow. Although Robert Redford is primarily known as a legendary actor and talented filmmaker, his family life has also faced many challenges, especially involving his son James Redford. James was known for his work as a filmmaker, author, and activist, and he made a significant impact through his dedication to social and environmental causes. However, his life was marked by a serious health battle when he was diagnosed with bile duct cancer. This diagnosis came in 2019 while he was waiting for another liver transplant, which was needed due to complications from his illness. Despite his brave fight, James Redford's resilience was tested many times. Sadly, his wife Kyle confirmed his passing on Twitter, sharing the heartbreaking news with the world. She expressed the family's devastation and highlighted the many ways James had contributed during his time on Earth. The Redford family was deeply affected by this loss, and Robert Redford, in particular, asked for privacy as he processed the grief and mourned alongside his family. His publicist, Cindy Berger, described the grief as indescribable, emphasizing that James was not only a loving son, husband, and father, but also someone whose legacy continues through his children, his work in filmmaking, and his unwavering commitment to conservation and protecting the environment. The loss of James Redford was a profound moment for his family and everyone inspired by his life's work. Robert Redford's focus remains on supporting his family through this difficult time and honoring James' remarkable legacy. Since then, Robert Redford has remained active in the entertainment world, mainly through producing films and supporting new talent. He has shifted his focus from acting to behind-the-scenes work, where he can still contribute his experience and vision. Despite announcing his retirement in 2018, Redford has made occasional surprise appearances, which keeps fans eager to see him once more. He explained in interviews that aging and a long career made him consider stepping away from acting, but he soon realized that leaving the industry entirely was not easy for him. Just a month after his retirement announcement, he clarified that it was a mistake and that he would prefer to retire quietly if he ever truly decided to stop working. Today, he stays engaged with projects through his work as a producer, helping to develop stories that he believes in. His involvement both inspires younger filmmakers and maintains his influence in the industry he has helped shape for decades. He also dedicates time to charitable activities and advocacy, reflecting his continued passion for making a positive impact. The mystery of where Robert Redford is now might be answered by his ongoing commitment to cinema from behind the scenes, always supporting the art form he has loved since he first stepped into the spotlight many years ago. Fans continue to admire his legacy and wonder if one day he might surprise everyone again with a new project or appearance. Despite his age, his desire to stay connected to films shows that the allure of the silver screen remains strong. Redford's life today is a blend of quiet reflection and active contribution, demonstrating that even after stepping back from the limelight, he remains an essential figure in Hollywood. Many hope that he will continue to influence the industry through his role as a producer and mentor, passing on his wisdom to shift new generations of filmmakers. His story proves that passion for art and storytelling can endure a lifetime, and his current activities keep him close to the world he has helped shape for so many years. Fans eagerly await any news of his latest projects or appearances, knowing that Robert Redford's influence is still very much alive. Since 2019, Robert Redford has shown that he still enjoys being part of the entertainment world. In that year, he made a surprise cameo in a comedy film, not only lending his voice but also showing that he is still willing to make appearances on screen. With an impressive record of 83 film and TV credits, it is clear that his love for acting and storytelling remains strong even after all these years. However, Redford has also started to step back from some of his other roles, especially related to the Sundance Film Festival. He announced that he would be slowing down his involvement with the festival, which he had helped shape and support for many years. Despite this decision, he expressed his gratitude for the festival's continued growth and success, showing how much it meant to him. Although he has said he is retiring from acting, his actions tell a different story. Making a surprise appearance and lending his voice indicates he is not ready to completely leave the entertainment world behind. Instead, he seems to be shifting his focus toward supporting the film industry in new ways, perhaps through mentorship or other behind-the-scenes work. Over all these years, Robert Redford has become a symbol of Hollywood's golden age, And even as he takes a step back, his influence remains strong. His passion for movies and storytelling keeps him connected to the industry, proving that once a Hollywood star, always a Hollywood star. No matter what, it's clear that Redford's legacy and love for entertainment will continue to inspire many for years to come. Since 2024, Robert Redford remains active and committed to his work in the entertainment industry. Despite some rumors about retirement from acting, he has made it clear that he is not ready to slow down. Instead, he continues to produce and direct projects with the same passion and dedication as before. Redford has enjoyed a long career, with over 56 productions and 10 directing credits to his name. His influence and presence in Hollywood remain strong, proving that he is still a force to be reckoned with. Recently, fans have seen his work in productions like All Illusions Must Be Broken from 2023, which shows his ongoing interest in storytelling and art. In 2022, he was involved in Dark Winds, further emphasizing his active role behind the scenes. Between 2014 and 2020, he worked on documentaries such as Death Row Stories, Public Trust, and The Mustangs America's Wild Horses, reflecting his passion for real stories and social issues. Even in 2024, Redford continues to produce meaningful projects, demonstrating he is an unstoppable force in the industry. His creative fire still burns brightly, and he remains dedicated to shaping compelling stories that resonate with audiences. Despite his age, he refuses to step away from the spotlight or the creative process, proving that he still has much to offer, and that his influence remains strong in the world of film and television. Additionally, it is clear that Robert Redford has a deep love for painting that extends beyond his acting career. He shared in the interview with his grandson that before he became famous as an actor, he was a visual artist, and his passion for art has never faded. With more free time now, he feels an even stronger urge to return to painting. He describes himself as an impatient person, which makes acting especially challenging because it involves repeated takes and waiting around. In contrast, painting offers him a sense of freedom and personal satisfaction that he finds more fulfilling. He feels that as an 80-year-old, he no longer wants to rely on others or be bound by performance schedules. Instead, he enjoys creating art on his own, just as he did before he entered the film industry. Now, he is eager to pick up his paintbrushes and start sketching again, reconnecting with the art that once formed a core part of his life. This desire to return to painting shows how much he values personal expression and the simple pleasure of making art for himself. It reflects his ongoing journey to find happiness and fulfillment in ways that suit his personality and age, emphasizing that art remains a vital part of his identity. His passion for painting continues to inspire those around him, and his willingness to embrace his creative side later in life highlights his love for self-expression and the importance of pursuing what truly brings